Hi everyone, Trina Phoenix here, and we were going to get back into alchemy, Master Saint Germain, and we were going to be create a cloud. So I can't wait to see what this says because I've always had some information about, the cloud, and we hear about the Bible, Jesus, you will meet him in the clouds. There's some stuff to this cloud stuff, and then I see it as like our Akashic records, and now we see that there's cloud storage for our technology, for our memories and our photos. It's another replication from our organic innate abilities. I'm seeing replicate through technology like the cell phone and our cellular communication. It's just, I keep seeing all these correlations. It's kind of amazing. So, create and the cloud. How deeply many have yearned to know how to produce constructive change both in themselves and in the world. Let them realize, then, that to bring about change is a creative act. Alchemy is the creative science, whereby man is enabled to obey the original fiat of God. Take dominion over the earth. This command was indicative of the Father's plan for his Son and the means to implement it. They are discovered as one learns the ancient secrets of this sacred science. Practicing the principles of alchemy, the individual is able to rise from being a puppet to the will of other egos, to the will of disobedient spirits, to the passing fancies of the times, or to the dictates of the brothers of shadow who induce the young adept to practice black magic and witchcraft, flattering his ego and often quoting scriptures, saying, "If thou be a son of God, command that these stones be made bread." Now we are on the verge of taking our initial steps into producing change. Not a change that gears man to the contemporary scene where his every effort is molded by environmental factors, but a change that will bring him closer to the real image. We will create the means whereby change can be produced by our sovereign will, whereby we can take dominion over the earth. For it is here on earth that we are obliged to create the desires of our hearts. It is right here and right now that we are indeed obligated to become co-creators with God, thus to fulfill the purity of his intent. Whereas I recognize that there may seem to be mechanistic factors in the scientific direction that I am about to give you, I am sure that you have noticed the many safeguards for which I have inserted into this course to make certain that you are never of the wrong opinion, for none should never assume that by a mere scientific or mechanical ritual he will be able to perform the highest types of alchemy and manifestation. Not so. For the highest alchemy, the greatest change, is that which changes man into a god, wherein the Son becomes one with the Father, and this can never be accomplished by mechanical means. Stand now before your altar, honoring the living God and his fiat, for he who is God has commanded it. Take dominion. You are rightfully functioning then as you do just that. You are about to create, and you will first create the cloud from the enormous power of God stored at every point of space, waiting to be invoked. The power of vision is central to the invocation. Therefore, we shall create in our minds first a milky white radiance, and then we shall see this milky white radiance as an electronic vibratory action of vital, moving, inevitable light. The concentration of this light, which we will call the density of the light, is that which makes the milky white color. If the cloud were attenuated, we would be able to see through it as through the scenes around us were enveloped in a fog. Now, having created in our minds this form of a bright, translucent cloud, we will allow it to enfold our physical bodies and to occupy our force field. For a moment, we become lost in the midst of the cloud, and then it seems as though it has always been there. Its atmosphere is familiar and comfortable. We recognize that the mind has the power to expand its circle of influence, but we must not try to move far from the parent tree of self. Let this bright and shining cloud at first be 9 feet in diameter around oneself. Later, perhaps, we shall expand it to a diameter of 90 feet, then 900 feet, and further. In our early meditations, we shall concentrate on the intensifying action of the white light in our minds. From thence, we shall transfer that action to the 9-foot area around the physical form. Once we have developed a sense of this cloud being around our physical forms, we shall understand whereas the cloud can be made visible to physical sight. Our primary concern is to keep its high vibration and action purely spiritual. Those of you who are familiar with the electronics and the workings of a rheostat will understand that by the simple twist of the dial of the consciousness, we can intensify the vibratory action of the cloud. In this case, we coalesce more light around each central point of light, for our cloud is composed of the many light points whose auras diffuse and blend with one another, making the total effect one of a lacy yet highly concentrated white radiance, a pure swirling cloud of cosmic energy, a matrix. What this mighty cloud that we have created, this force field of vibrating energy, and why did we create it in the first place? Actually, whereas I have used the word create, it would be more appropriate if I perhaps used the word magnetize. For we are actually magnetizing that which is already everywhere present in the space. We are amplifying an intense action of the light from within its own force field, more than would normally manifest in a given area. We are thereby dawning upon universal God power to produce this cloud that first penetrates and then hallows our immediate force field in order that we may have a spiritual altar upon which we may project the pictures of reality that we wish to create. Bear in mind that this cloud can be used therapeutically for healing of the nations, a soul of a planet, or you can use it as a platform to invoke, as Christ did upon the Mount of Transfiguration, the presence of the ascended masters, of beloved Jesus, Mother Mary, the Master Serapis Bey from Luxor, the Maha Kohan, the Lord Maitreya, Archangel Michael, to assist you not only in your alchemical experiments, but also in your ministrations to life. Where you are yet ignorant of just what you ought to produce for yourself and others, you can, in a gentle, childlike manner, ask God to produce, out of the great pool of His light and energy, the miracle of His healing love, not only in your life, but in the lives of your loved ones, but also in the lives of the multitudes in the world at large. You can ask the power of God and of the kingdom of heaven to come into manifestation upon the earth. You can ask for the golden age to be born for an end to strife and struggle and all negative and hateful manifestation. You can ask for love to take dominion over the world. If you open your heart to the needs of the world and to the love of the Divine Mother that seeks expression through your uplifted consciousness, limitless ideas for universal service will flow into your mind. But here again, let me hasten to sound a note of warning, especially for the benefit of those who have been physically inclined or who have a tendency, as humanity would say, to go off the deep end. Beware. You are dealing with a sacred, creative power. Beware. It is better for you to ask the masters to interject their ideas for you without necessarily defining or releasing them into your conscious mind than for you to be carried away from the tether of the alchemical norm. The ascended masters are not only sane and well organized, but they are also godly, and they are profound to the 9th degree. It is essential that you become likewise. Above all, be not carried away by the pride or by the exaltation of the self over others. Guys, they don't warn too often, so when they do, heed the warnings. And as I spoke that to you, I got chills up and down my entire body. So that is confirmation. Only use these things for the good of all. Because if you do not, oh my goodness, the effects will be extreme. As you gain spiritual power through these periods of meditation upon the cloud, which at first should not exceed 15 minutes a day, try to understand that the creative cloud, once it is dispersed by your fiat, at the conclusion of your creative ceremony, it will continue to expand and expand and expand throughout the universe as a globe of translucent white fire, eddying in ever-widening spheres to contact all that is real and all that is really yours. The cloud as the manifestation of your power, of your creative energy, the fire of your spirit will draw into your world the very consciousness of God Himself, evoked from the central pores of being and the beautifully expanding. As an altar of God, the cloud will hallow space wherever it expands. Christ was able to produce the miracles recorded in the Gospels and many more because He had first mastered the correct use of energy. He called the holy energy of spirit Father. And that's what I understand. Father is spirit. It's the blueprints of creation. And it's literally, it's the information that you need to manifest it. It's literally codes the books of life. It's the spirit, and it moves in all things. All things are moved by spirit. And of a truth, Father, the Spirit is to all manifestation. The Father is all-loving, all-knowing, and all-powerful, and He will make you all that He is. But we have only begun to touch upon the correct use of this energy. Therefore, I seek to develop in your consciousness, through your reading of this material, a proper attitude that will enable you to function under the guidance of your own God presence and Christ self as a efficient co-creator with God and with the Brotherhood of Light. We need alchemists of spirit, men and women who will produce physical, mental, emotional, and etherical alchemical manifestations, wielding them all into one creative act of abundant living. These shall at last understand the meaning of the Master's words, I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. Alchemy is not a devilish means of bringing forth riches and honor. It is a spiritual, all-loving science of changing the base metals that make up the synthetic image of man into the pure gold of the real image of man that may implement his wise dominion over earth. Whoa, that is powerful. I'm going to read that one more time. Alchemy is not a devilish means of bringing forth riches and honor. It is a spiritual, all-loving science of changing the base metals that make up the synthetic image of man from carbon into gold, into the pure gold of the real image, that he may implement his wise dominion over the earth. That's why Christ is associated with the gold ray. Wow. Gold. Whoa, this is the true alchemy, is you turning into the gold. The lead into gold. Holy macaroni, this is powerful. Eventually, the great alchemist will teach the apprentice the seraphic science whereby man shall produce that wondrous final change of which Paul spoke. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Holy, wow, this is powerful, guys, because I've been getting a lot of information that a very big window is opening up at this eclipse that's coming up soon. And this energy is going to hit a lot of people who have been sleeping, and they are going to instantly get woke, and a lot of them are going to fall apart. Because you all know how that happens. You know, you get woke up and then it destroys your reality, and you need a little while to regroup. I see this happening on a very large scale. So it's also going to awaken a lot of darkness too. I'm seeing that too. So a lot of people might be overcome by dark spirits. And then the other ones that are going to be coming into their own revelation and their own questioning of reality, they're going to be waking up. And this is what they're speaking of. And I'm seeing this, and this is going to keep happening in waves and waves and waves. So let's make them huge. Bear in mind that I have only lightly touched upon this great creative energy that is within you even now. In the name of Masters of Masters, in the name of the Lord Christ, I remain his servant and his advocate, as well as yours forever. Saint Germain. And see, when he says, that he remains his servant. See, servitude is either it has polarity, just like everything else. Servitude can be because you want to help and you want to you have a common goal, and it's a common wish, and you want to fulfill it, and you know it's going to take cooperation. So when I see the masters, and a lot of them speak about, I am their servant, and it requires complete obedience. We've been taught this through religion, which is utter slavery. But when you're talking about these higher levels of wisdom and entrainment, this is where you're coming into your own power and your own mastery. And when these abilities are used correctly, it's transformative, and it is so powerful. And the support of the universe will help you. So, you guys really do have these powers within you, and you need to wake them up, because it's time to create. And this is what we need to do now. And all of you in this soul tribe, you guys are ready for this. So literally manifest well and manifest for the whole, not for yourself. And it doesn't matter. Just see what you want what you want to happen, peace, joy, love, healing, whatever it is. As long as it's serving the wholeness of everyone, and as long as it is standing in unity, which leaves nobody out. No one is excluded. All are included through these divine gifts and these divine rays of light that are now entering into this planet in this new age of Aquarius. This is why we will wake. So, with that, let's get into this cloud. I have seen this cloud, and I've been aware of this cloud for quite some time, but I've never fully seen it explained in this manner, because I was shown a similar concept, but this is a little bit different, a little bit of a different play on it. So I really like it, and it really resonates with me. So I'm going to be working on creating my cloud and expanding it and sending out some wonderful mojo to this planet, because that's what I do. I cooperate with the ones who know more than I. And I don't bow or worship or idolize. I stand up and say, what can I do to help? And that's all that we're asked to do. So I love you guys. I will see you on the next one. And next we will be getting into the science of picturization. Wow. So how we create images. So we already do it naturally. But to learn how to master the task of controlling the images in your head, that's a gift. So I have a feeling this might be where this is going, but we'll have to wait and see together, because I'm on this ride with you all. So I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you may be, and may favor flow into your world in abundance today and always. Have a great day. Bye.